Hi there. It's Lori with Care Partners Resource. And today I'm just going to do a quick 10-minute update on the techniques that were used in our November CAREthartic conversations. This month we discussed gratitude and how gratitude can help get you through the most challenging times. For many caregivers, the holidays are filled with a lot of emotion and different feelings, and you can feel overworked or pressured, um, anxiety, isolation, loneliness. There's a lot of emotions that many caregivers uh, deal with during this time of year. So, some of the exercises that we did today were writing exercises, but we began with a verbal exercise um, on picking out one item from this list of things that you felt grateful for. And what I would suggest you do is use this as a prompt or make a note around your house and the three things that you're grateful for. Okay, so on our list, you can't see that very well, so I'm just going to read it to you. So on our list we have, I am grateful for these three things about Thanksgiving. Or I am grateful for three things about myself. I am grateful for three things I taste. Or I'm grateful for three things I see. Or I'm grateful for three things I smell. And here's an easy one. I'm grateful for three things around my house. So you can use those as a prompt and set a timer. You only want to write for about 5 minutes. And then once you've written the things that you're grateful for, what I suggested was that we went through them, picked one, and then say, I am grateful for instance, Thanksgiving, because, right? Stretch that out and go a little deeper into detail as to why are you grateful for whatever it is you chose. By doing that, it helps you to really understand and acknowledge that feeling of gratitude. So your prompt would be, I am grateful for because. Once again, you're going to write for 5 minutes, and then you're going to read what you wrote, and you're going to write for 2 more minutes, starting with reading why I am grateful makes me realize. Again, reading why I am grateful makes me realize. We also talked about strategies that you can use in order to keep gratitude kind of around you. When you're caring for a loved one, sometimes it's really challenging to figure out exactly what it is you're grateful for, even though you know there are things. But in the midst of your daily struggles and challenges, it can be hard to remember why you're grateful. And so one of the things, here's some things that I recommended as far as keeping gratitude close. So you can keep a gratitude jar. I know a lot of people talk about gratitude jars and or a bowl or a box or whatever you have handy. Some people even go to a bookstore, or you can order online, just little cards or different magnets or different things that say gratitude or different things that you might be grateful for. But I really recommend writing them down on a piece of paper, just fold it up and put it in your gratitude jar or box. And the reason I suggest that is because it helps you understand, excuse me, understand what you personally are grateful for. In our class today, one of our caregivers talked about being grateful for dimmer lights in his house so that if he has to get up in the middle of the night, he doesn't have to turn on a light and it's shockingly bright. Or for timers in his garage that or sensors, I guess they are. When he walks into the garage, the light automatically goes on, and when he walks out, it automatically goes off. That is not something you'd probably find um, in a generic box about things you're grateful for. And so you really want to think about the things that mean something to you. You might be grateful for your loved one's smile or their humor. Those are things that can remind you about the positive things about your loved ones. So keep those in nearby, and when you need a refresher or something to think about that makes you smile, you can reach into the jar and pull out one of your gratitudes. Another thing is writing a list maybe of 4 or 5 things that you're grateful for often. You're grateful for waking up. You're grateful for the next meal, any of those types of things. And you can keep that list places where you can see them throughout the day, like on your refrigerator, on your bedroom or bathroom mirror, or near your computer or on your tablet if you're on those a lot. Just nice, friendly reminders of those things. In the past, I had a caregiver suggest that you could set a timer on your phone to remind you to stop and think about something that you're grateful for. Similar to your Fitbit, how every hour or two it might tell you get up and walk or take 200 more steps, that kind of thing. So it's really nice to have something to remind yourself that there are things, even in the most stressful and difficult times, to be grateful for. And of course, finally, I would recommend keeping a gratitude journal. It's a good place to go and write down things that you are positive about, things that make you happy and grateful for, right? But also remember, the old don't worry, be happy. I'm not saying don't worry, be grateful, because you know what? In our lives as caregivers, it is stressful, and it is truly, there are days when you can't see the forest for the trees. So I'm not saying to ignore the negative things at all that come along throughout the day. In fact, that could be very, very unhealthy. So you want to recognize those things that are causing you unhappiness or that are negative and find ways to resolve those. But I am saying that at your lowest point, and most difficult times, it can be helpful to think about things for which you're grateful. In other words, when you're having a bad day, it can be helpful to think even of the smallest little thing that could make you smile. And again, try writing them down as a good reminder. Another technique that we talked about, it's probably too late to talk to anybody about Thanksgiving now, whether you're hosting or whether you're attending an event. But when you're caring for a loved one, these things can be really a big challenge. When you're taking your loved one out of their comfort zone to another location, sometimes they don't do well with strangers or a crowd, or maybe you're taking them somewhere and you're worried that the bathroom facilities might not be acceptable or make it more difficult to help get your loved one to the restroom or things like that. But it's a really good idea when you, after an event, come home and write about it. Write about that experience, what went well and what didn't go so well. And write it in really good detail. Like you want to talk about, very simply, I walked in the door, this is what I smelt, this is how I felt, I noticed my loved one's reactions to, this is how other people were reacting. The reason for this is to help you recognize the things that maybe can change for the next holiday event. If that same person is hosting, say, Christmas or your holiday celebration, you can maybe have it written out so that you can focus on, it helps you get a little more focused on what it is exactly that would be helpful if they did something different. You can also write a letter to the family or the host and let them know that if it was really challenging, best case scenario, you let them know things have changed and you don't have as much time at home anymore to make the things that you've traditionally made for the holiday celebration. Or so you need to cut back, or you'd rather just show up with your loved one and or bring something more simple, like something from the store that was pre-purchased. Um, you want to explain that how things can be made a little different. But you also don't want to do it in a complaining sort of way. You want to think about suggestions so you can talk about this is what happened, but if it were done this way, it could be more accommodating to us, and that will make your holiday celebration a little better. And next, just look for the opportunities. Look for the opportunities to talk to your family and friends, or even just to think yourself how the traditional things that you've been doing may need to be slightly adjusted. So that's it for today. Those are the things we went over. If you would like a copy of the recording or the PowerPoint presentation, please feel free to email me at Lori, that's Lori, at carepartnersresource.com. I look forward to seeing you next month. Have a great day.